Mary Alice, after a judge ruled the state more or less violated its own laws by failing to do an environmental impact study on the massive project, the DOT said it would not appeal the judge's ruling. However, it also said it wasn't going to abandon the project nor the considerable federal funds that have thus far been secured for it.
Give us what you promised us.
These folks from the Restore Our Community Coalition remain convinced that spending more than $1 billion to cover just 3/4 of a mile of the Kensington Expressway will bring prosperity to a long-challenged East Side neighborhood, and convinced that it would improve the health of residents who live in it, subject to exhaust fumes from passing cars.
And there was an individual who came up there with some disability health conditions, and she was saying it's because of the 33. Then I said, well, if it was covered, you may not have even had those health conditions.
If the judge says it needs to be done, then they want the state to go ahead and do that environmental impact study and not to change the scope of the plan, fearing that alone would result in years of delays.
Let's get on with this project.
On the other side, the East Side Parkways Coalition, which says when it comes to improving this area of Buffalo and the health of its residents,
we are all looking for and asking for the same thing.
It's just that they have a different road. They want the expressway eliminated entirely and full restoration of the former Humboldt Parkway. But the other group says that's ridiculous.
What do you do with 75,000 cars to get downtown every day?
The tunnel, they say, would allow for those cars to continue without spilling them onto their neighborhood streets. But the other guys say that wouldn't necessarily be the case.
If you live in Ken Bailey, you're going to jump on Genesee. If you live in Lancaster, West Seneca, you're going to jump on Broadway.
State Assembly Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes says the governor remains behind the tunnel project, and she thinks it will come to pass sooner or later once they get the environmental impact study done.
For at least 30 years that we've been trying to do this.
Yeah.
And if it's going to take 2 more, then we'll just have to keep going.
The Parkways Coalition, that's the group that doesn't want the tunnel, well, they say they're amenable to discussing their position with the other side, but that may be unlikely as the pro-tunnel group more or less continues to describe them as interlopers. Live on your side on Buffalo's East Side, Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.